Welcome to the Mizells Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alanna Mizell, a loving mother of two, a devoted wife to Steven, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Steven Mizells, caring father of two, a devoted husband to Alanna, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizells Show.
Right now. We are back on the Mizells Show.
I'm really throwing off fires. I didn't know how long you were going to take it.
You know I'm gonna take it?
I had no idea.
No.
I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was on voices and how, you're attracted to certain kinds of voices and how you think you sound better while you're singing.
Well, I know I sound good when I sing.
Then you do. You sound great.
No, I don't. I sound better in the shower.
You do.
Great, was it optics?
Acoustics
In the shower. Great acoustics in the shower. If you add some of those little good smelling leaves in there that you talk about, it would smell. My voice would be impeccable.
Eucalyptus.
Yeah, eucalyptus. Yes, yes, I would be in my zone.
I cannot. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's happened the last 2 weeks?
I did not read my book. I have not.
You did not?
I did not read 2 chapters. I'm gonna blame it on you because we had a nice little flow going of
I still read mine.
No,
so why are you?
But you weren't into it. If you were into it, I think I would have got into mine a little bit more.
I still finished.
You finished the book that we talked about last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. So
also, if you hear Adele in the background, it's currently spring break.
Spring break 23.
And Adele's home. We work from home. We didn't go anywhere this spring break, and she's singing in the background. So don't worry about it. Her acoustics back there.
Clearly, she knew about it too. So yeah,
you didn't finish.
I'll take ownership. I did not. Well, I said read 2 chapters. I said finish. I have not read 2 chapters, so I need to take ownership. I have got on some good podcasts and listened to some good podcasts and some good content. And by the way,
what books I've read.
Since the last episode?
Yeah. So I finished Open Book. And I'm currently listening to, it's called The Sugar Jar. It's how to create boundaries.
Also, you finished Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, she's done. And I'm reading I See You by Molly McAdams. I've read 2 other of her books. Let me figure out what those books are while we're actually talking about it. But, so it's a rom-com, big-time rom-com. We went to the library.
Loves a good rom-com.
I do. The other ones I read were Forgiving Lies and then Deceiving Lies. There's 2 in the set. The first one was so good. I literally got up from finishing it, went to the public library, got the second one, and started reading it at stop signs.
That's not safe.
Stop signs, stoplights and stuff.
And?
Okay, whatever. Don't at me right now.
Okay.
But now I'm reading another one of her books called I See You.
Is it a rom-com?
It is from the first page.
Okay.
The thing is that we went to the library. I didn't realize you had to renew your library book.
Your card.
A library card.
Yes. They got to make sure you're legit.
I guess so.
I don't have one, so.
I thought you do have one.
It probably needs to be renewed, though.
Yeah, probably.
I go to the library oh, Mizells, it's good to see you again. It's been years.
No, I went in. I just figured you could do it online. You can do your driver's license online, but you can't do your library.
It's a lot of things about the library that, are still working their way up to 2023. But you went to the library, you got some good books.
No, I got a good book.
You wanted books, though.
Books.
But you only had one.
That's my struggle with our library, is that they don't typically have the books that I want to read.
So you need to reach out to the Memphis Public Library, buyer? And
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
It's a great. We're trying to save the pennies, y'all, and go.
You don't want to buy the book, so why not check it out, finish it, and take it back?
And we have plenty of books in this house.
We have plenty. No, you have plenty of books. This is how I got my little collection in my nightstand.
Yeah.
We're still watching NCIS.
Still watching Station 19.
She's watching Station 19 and giving me the recap of it. NCIS, believe it or not, we talked about this last night, even though like the main fixtures, except for McGee, are gone, it's the writers are kept us in tune. Like I don't dislike the new people. I'm okay with it.
At the end of the first episode that we watched last night, I think we watched 2.
We watched 2.
1.5.
One, something like that.
We fall asleep pretty regularly.
She falls asleep. Okay,
so do you. Okay, thank you. But at the end of it, so what's his name? Matt? What's Jethro's real name?
Matt Harmon.
So he's now writing it.
He's not right. He's writing
it. So at the end of it, Steven goes, "Gosh, Jethro's doing a good job."
Yeah.
Not saying his real name.
Oh yeah, but Matt Harmon. Yeah.
The script is actually really good. What season are we on?
19.
Out of what?
20. So we're
almost done.
We're almost caught up. Then they started taping 21 right now. So we're almost caught up.
What are we gonna do?
Probably go to our other shows and we'll share with our podcast people what's next.
Okay, well, I'm still on Station 19.
One last thing, for updates. We recently invested. It's been a good investment, I think, in Apple One. It's been really good. I love the workouts.
Benefits of that is you get Apple Fitness. Not an advertisement, by the way. We're not cool enough for Apple to pay for us.
Apple's not paying, so if you use the Mizells show, it won't give you a promo code, so don't try.
There ain't no promo code. There ain't no Mizell 10.
Nope.
Promo
Mizells
code.
20. No. No fresh food. No fresh market. Hello Fresh. We ain't got none of that. No. So we're not pitching.
But it also allows you to have iTunes, Apple Music, Apple News. Gives you Apple Book, but Apple Book is garbage.
I've never tried it.
Supposedly they're going to be releasing a new one that goes against Kindle.
Okay.
Like Audible.
Yes. But so one thing
it's going to knock them out of the park.
I do truly enjoy Apple Fitness. I have my favorite workout people.
Who are they?
Of course, you asked me now. I can't think of their names.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, you could put them, but long story short, I do enjoy
mentioned it.
I did mention it, but clearly
that's on you.
Clearly, we haven't been hanging out enough because we're not on a first name basis anymore. So long story short, the fitness part is good, but they do every night send you an Apple News story, and it's like from the New Yorker or from the Atlantic, and it's like really good stories.
This, I also have the same thing, and I've never seen this. Well, it's probably because I'm just like, no.
So I open them up and I read them every. That's why I get my chapters, because I've been reading the Apple News.
That's your chapters. That's your chapters.
So my news story for you guys is.
We'll tell Malcolm.
A couple weeks ago, 4 Americans were kidnapped going to Mexico, like a cartel, like Netflix show. They were driving in a white minivan. They were kidnapped at gunpoint. 2 were actually, unfortunately, killed. And it was like this huge investigation. Turns out the people that kidnapped them from the quote-unquote cartel were 5 like rogue cartel members. The cartel actually wrote an apology.
That's insane.
Saying like, hey,
the cartel said, "I'm sorry, please buy my cocaine."
No. Oh my goodness. I don't know what they're selling. But long story short, they pretty much gave these 5 guys up to the police, said we are against that they did this, and like wrote an apology letter because they do their thing and they don't like the negative PR. I guess you want to call it. That's what the story was saying. To bring the story even crazier, the 4 people that were kidnapped in Mexico were from Lake County, South Carolina, and driving to Mexico for a medical procedure.
Named a BBL.
What is it?
It's a booty lift.
Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah. It's still, you get a butt lift.
You get a butt lift, but it's called
an injection.
But the crazy thing is,
to look like Nicki Minaj.
They had this huge story about like how many lower class Americans are traveling to Mexico to get these procedures.
Yeah, so plastic surgery and any sort of like, really it's just plastic surgery. Any sort of procedure like that is significantly less expensive in Mexico. For a reason.
Yeah.
And you can meet the cartel.
I'm trying to meet the cartel. Long story short, it's just crazy.
I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm just saying like those are the
risk.
It's crazy. There are severe risks with your health when you go to a different kind of doctor like that.
Yeah.
But then also there's more risk. You're still going across the border. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just use their passports.
But, okay.
You can go to Mexico.
They did use their passports. They were hijacked when they went across.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
You thought they snuck across?
Yes.
No, they went through
I was like, why are we sneaking across the border?
They went through the proper... Again, this is like high level, guys. They went through the proper channels, and this just kind of unfortunately happened. But long story short, it happened on Apple One, sent me the news article. But they were talking more about how many people are crossing the border to get these procedures done based on... social media, based on advertising and our healthcare system. They don't pay for those procedures. I'm about to get a news
advertisement for a BBL now because we said it.
I don't know. You're off social media for Lent, so it might not be listening right now.
Maybe not. They turned it off.
It did turn off.
So my news story actually comes from our state of Tennessee that we're currently in.
Yeah.
Our legislators are trying to make LGBTQ marriages back illegal.
Yes.
We've already banned drag shows, which is just so infuriating to me. My point is, no matter what you believe, my point is, it's none of your business what I do with my time or my personal life.
Yeah.
It's just not. Mm-hmm. It's nobody's business the fact that we fell in love and we're black and we're white.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not anybody's business.
Very true.
I have beliefs individually. You do. We tend to share those. But I'm not going to say you can't do that.
Yeah.
No. Like, you have one life on this earth. Why make somebody else live it in hostility and turmoil and sadness?
Because of
and escaping the state. Like, you're essentially trying to push all Democratic parties out of the state. Because they're not going to stay here.
Yeah.
If you continue to enforce Republican viewpoints.
Or even not even people that are Democrat. It's people that just believe in what you just said. So
right.
like you're just basically pushing out people that don't see what you see. Like,
right.
Republican, non-Republican, but if you don't see what I see eye to eye, it's like, why should I quote unquote stick around?
Right. Utterly insane. So you can continue to follow that. We will over here, but I don't know that we'll talk about it again as it comes to fruition.
I don't know. It's very.
We will find out.
We'll find out.
It was a hot topic in this house, to say the least.
Yeah, very true.
What we're going to talk about today is people that believe in you. So belief in people.
Yes.
Which is so important. I actually, while I was in. Y'all, Steven is picking at the table right now.
It was something. Focus.
I can't focus when you just grabbed my Post-it and tried to pick something out of the table. No, but you have your phone on, so you're... I can't. Dead middle of conversation, Steven grabs a Post-it to pick something at the table, and you can hear it.
I'm currently sitting where Briggs usually sit. There's something wedged in the table, and I'm like, let me get this out. Shout out to Briggs. Always finding ways to put things.
Always finds a way to come up and talk. Anyway, so what we were talking about was... I remember being in sorority life, and there was one girl that she didn't want to apply for our executive committee, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And she chose to, and because she did and got her office, I think it really changed her personal growth in college. I think it made her a little bit more mature. And you unfortunately have to face different scenarios of just people, like teenagers, managing teenagers, which is so crazy to think about. But you get to manage different kinds of people, which just gives you so many skills that you'll need later on. She's actually a teacher, and Lord knows she's still dealing with the same kind of chaos. Mm-hmm. But I was talking to another friend who is at a place of work, and it's just really hard because the leadership doesn't really see the value in people. They see the value in profit, which is so hard.
Very hard.
I'm using the word leadership in that term as a hierarchy term of leadership. And I actually was just helping some students interview for their
college scholarships.
Their scholarships, that's the word. I almost said transcripts. No.
Nope,
their scholarships. And one of the questions was, what is leadership? So, Stephen, what is leadership to you?
Me.
This guy.
No, to me...
Wow.
To
Everybody stops listening now.
Oh, my goodness. To me, leadership is empathetic listening. I think leadership is able to see those people that work under them and to be able to, you might not be able to relate to them, but you can actually listen and care and listen to what that person's going through, whether it be work, whether it be personal, whether it be whatever it is, and be able to bring that back to the overall goal of the team or help that person be a part of that goal based on what skill sets they're bringing. I feel like so many times leaders, quote unquote, look for how this person can fix this or go to this goal without actually listening to where that person is in their life. Because you might have someone who's a massive communicator that can stand on a stage and talk to 10,000 people, but when this certain project is going, this girl or guy is not that person right now because they're going through life. They don't feel like being an extrovert. They just want to close the door, crunch the numbers, and submit the report. But if you're not empathetically listening to what is going on in the pulse of your team, you wouldn't know that. You just say, oh, that person can talk. They're going to present it. Everybody else do the grunt work.
Are you loving the Mizells Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellsshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram @themizellsshow.
So I like what you said about empathy, and we all know we love Simon Sinek. We love Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek talks a lot about empathy and the difference between an empathetic leader and a non-empathetic leader. And I think I wish there was another term, and I'm sure that there is. There's a manager. There's another term. There's a manager who manages people.
True.
There are friends that are actually managers.
Ooh, yes.
They manage the people. And then there are leaders.
Yeah.
So to me, leaders are empathetic. They can be in a group of people in a job site. They are compassionate. They care about the least loved and the most loved equally.
Yeah.
I think that's very important as far as like leadership and friendship groups, homes. Parents are leaders.
Yeah.
You cannot love your kids in two different ways.
Yeah.
Or that's poor leadership. I have another question for you. Was Hitler a good leader?
Depends on the people. It's a very tricky topic because people talk about Hitler and talk about that standpoint of how he was able to get a certain group of people to follow him and do something, even though how evil and twisted it was. I think, when you look at people, I hate to say it, but like the Hitlers, the Stalins, the other people, I'm not going to say on this podcast, other people that we classified as terrible leaders, they were able to tap into whoever they wanted to hear their message and pull that out of that person.
So I would say that they were, it's hard, the word leader is so, it's so
misused
tricky.
Sometimes?
So I would say that they were excellent managers.
Ooh. Okay.
To me, the difference between a leader and a manager is empathy and compassion. They lacked both.
Yeah.
Those specific people, especially Hitler, Saddam Hussein, Mussolini, we can name a few modern day ones, but we're not going to go there. But I would say that's the biggest difference. And so in light of this belief in people, they didn't believe in people. They believed in managing the people.
Managing the people to get to their...
They believed in themselves.
Yeah.
But they believed in managing and manipulating the people to get to where they wanted to go.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
I was talking to this friend, not that their VPs are the same level, but it feels similar in terms of management, not in terms of Hitler, Hussein, What I'm talking about is just in terms of being managed, almost like you're a product that's just been purchased at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'm managing my grocery budget. I'm managing my grocery list to be able to get the output of meals throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. I'm managing these people to be able to get the output of profit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which is horrific to really think about.
Yeah.
And so I said to her, belief in people always allows their light to shine brighter. Belief in people allows their light to shine brighter. Disbelief in a person will blow out their flame. And I think that's so critical.
Yeah.
Because when you believe in somebody, they continue to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And it doesn't have to be this on stage, I believe, blah, 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 on the top of the rooftops. Small little increments of belief really help them grow. Now, disbelief, outright disbelief in management of a person will make them shut down in what's called quiet quitting.
Yeah.
So people just kind of stop working. They do just enough to go under the radar and then they leave.
Yeah.
Quiet quitting. And I think that's the same with friendships.
Ooh.
You quietly quit friendships. You quietly quit relationships because you're not meeting in the middle. You've been managing these people for so long and they no longer want to be managed that you quietly quit the relationship and the effort being put in.
What about people quietly quitting friendships because they don't see the value anymore?
Well, isn't that the same as quietly quitting a job?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
A relationship is like that twofold. And I think that jobs and managers or leadership constantly see it as separate, like business, personal. And I get it. You got to keep work and personal life separate. But at the same time, you're still dealing with human beings on either side of that coin.
Yeah.
So to treat people like they are a product with an output of profit doesn't allow for the empathy in there. And at the same time, if you're talking about friends, you're losing the value of authentically interacting with each other.
Yep.
There have been times that I have had to lead my friends. I was one of the first of our friends to experience a miscarriage. I had to lead in those moments so that they could see that their light still needed to shine. Because if I gave them a disbelief that they were going to get through that, can you imagine the severity of the situation?
Very true. Yeah, yeah.
It could be detrimental to their health,
yeah.
Right? So there are times that you have to lead in your friendships with empathy and compassion. When a friend calls, you won't believe what just happened, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's a time for you to have empathy and compassion. Meet them where they are, not manage the situation and redirect them.
And that's a lot of times people they look at friendships and they look at, jobs and they immediately start to think or listen. They start to come up with an answer before they actually hear what that person is saying. And you might not agree of why this person is calling you and frustrated, but you have to listen with that empathy and meet them where they are currently and not try to manage their outcome. Now, sometimes friends and people have to be talked out of situations, but the best way to talk someone out of a situation or help them see something is to listen to their perspective, help them to see where they are, and then use that as a kind of catalyst to have a deeper conversation.
Yeah.
But if you never hear why they are feeling this way about a spouse, a job, a situation, and you're immediately trying to fix it, like managers tend to do sometimes, you're missing the boat there.
So, in light of that, who is somebody that you felt has personally believed in you so that you could achieve something?
I mean, there's a few people that I could definitely say that they have believed in me and personally be able to achieve something. 3 people come to mind. I'm not going to talk about all 3 in this podcast.
I'm playing the game, the eyeball game, where I'm like, do I know this?
Okay, so let's play this game. There are 3 people that have believed in me to achieve something that I might not have been able to see at the time.
That first come to your head.
The first come to my head.
Okay, so what did that look like for you? Like, what did that feel like to have somebody believe in you?
Oh, I mean, it feels like you can, quote unquote, run through a brick wall. No, it just feels like
it does.
feel like that someone has your back.
Yeah.
And the thing about these three people that I'm thinking about is that it's not a cute and quote unquote, it's not a cute having my back. It got ugly. They said things to me to help push me, to help grow me. It was they had my back in a time and a situation that I needed.
But a lot of people, that empathy and compassion?
True.
So empathy doesn't just have to be like, oh my gosh, cute, you okay?
Yeah, cute and fuzzy.
It's also the other side of like, I'm here, I'm sticking with you. Here's the ways that I think you need to deal with the situation while I'm next to you.
Very true.
Like, miscarriage is not warm and fuzzy, but you can still have empathy and compassion and be like, you got to get out of the shower and stop crying.
Yeah.
Like, you can cry, but like, you can't just live in the shower.
No, yeah, and that's true. Yeah, so I mean, I would say those three people that was a feeling that came to me when thinking of them.
Is that it's almost like a level of adrenaline rush.
It is
kind of comes.
It's a shot of adrenaline. It's a shot of quote unquote caffeine. It helps you get through those things when you know you have that person that's by your side, that's pushing you, that believes in you, and something that you're even unsure of why you're. Maybe not why you're doing it, but you in the moment you might not know why you're doing it, but you know that someone believes in you to be able to accomplish that.
So, have you ever reflected back and wished you had voiced a belief in somebody and didn't? And what was the outcome?
Ooh, I mean, everybody knows how awesome I am at life coaching, so I don't think I've ever had a failure. I'm just kidding, Alanna. Don't look at me like that.
It's like this guy.
No.
He's straight up success.
No. I mean, I know that there have been moments in which I could have led differently, in the outcome, the situation that I'm thinking about, the outcome turned out better for where he is now in his life.
Okay, walk us through it without names.
In the time of my life, I was riding a career high. And I thought I knew what was best for everybody in that season. And so in doing that,
that's hard.
I was really pushing and prodding and leading someone, managing someone to do something that I felt was right. But when you do that, sometimes you miss the obvious signs because you see what you think you see in that person and what that person could be, but you're ignoring the things around them that could change what that person can be based on what you're seeing right now.
I have no idea what you just said.
Okay, long story short, I see something and I think that this person can be that. And all I see is
a dream for them.
A dream for them. I see it. And I think it, but I'm ignoring all the other context clues around me. Like, yeah, you can't push that away, but just push it away because you see this dream. Oh, let's just push this back because I see this dream. In theory, I should have been empathetic and compassionate about all these things and realize this dream is not for them. It's for me. It's not mine.
Yeah.
And so all that to be said.
So that's the difference between managing and leading.
I agree with that. I managed.
You were thinking, okay, I will get this output by managing you this way. And gosh, is that not done in college athletics every day?
Yeah.
Managing the team so that the coach gets the ultimate output.
Yeah.
Versus for the betterment of each player.
The betterment of that person's long term. I agree with that. And a lot of times in jobs and in athletics, people ignore the context clues like, hey, you need to focus on these because it's going to affect that production in the field. It's going to affect that situation in the workplace. Like, no, I see the potential, so I'm going to ignore that. Now, you have to address those other little things because it can change it. That's why it kind of goes to what we said earlier, being an empathetic. What are you laughing about?
You just burped.
No, I did not. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna cut that. What in the world? What's it? 20. I don't know where we were. I do. At the end of the day, I do feel that, like we said earlier, if you are a empathetic compassionate, how you want to call it, leader, you will look at all of the quote unquote context clues to see and feel those and not ignore them.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things in this sort of helping somebody's light shine or blowing out their light that is super critical is self-reflection. Because the person, the VP in particular that I was talking to a friend about, they have no idea how much they're managing people and not getting empathy, not giving empathy and compassion. Yeah. They have no idea.
No idea.
I have to believe that because I know this person and that's just not who they are. Mm-hmm. I have to believe that. I don't know if that's hope in humanity or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also think it's important to self-reflect of times in which you could have believed in somebody, just pure belief and voice belief. Like, I think you could do this. Mm-hmm. And I would love to stand beside you to achieve this. And times that you've kind of stayed quiet and chosen to be like, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm too busy. They'll be fine.
I agree.
And vice versa, needing that kind of thing. Yeah. So all of that to say that there's leadership and there is management.
Management, yeah.
There's those two things.
And so we just...
I cannot talk today. There's those two things.
Those two things.
Again, that quote was, belief in people allows their light to shine brighter. Disbelief in a person will blow out their flame. Super, super powerful. We are so grateful for you guys. Hopefully you are believing in people, thinking through your friendships and different ways that you can stop managing and start leading with empathy and compassion. A great book on this, it's actually an audio book, is The Power of Vulnerability by Brene Brown. It talks about being vulnerable and what empathy is. Simon Sinek also does a great illustration of empathy in leadership in the workplace. So definitely check those out.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks.
So if you guys are enjoying this, definitely leave us a review. Give us the feedback. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, reach out to us on our website at themizellshow.com. There is a contact section. You can put it in there. We would love to hear about it. Or you can always go over to Instagram at The Mizells Show. Also, as always, don't forget to screenshot this episode and just add it to your stories and tag us on Instagram, on Facebook at The Mizells Show. Thanks, guys.